The highly coveted Sony RX100 series just got an upgrade this year to the RX100 Mark VI. It's a highly versatile and high-end compact camera that's capable to take vlogs, travel photos, landscapes, portraits, and everything else in between. The biggest difference between the Mark VI compared to its predecessors is that it's the first RX100 to sport a 24 to 200mm zoom. Let's take it for a spin. In terms of aesthetics, the RX100 Mark VI is basically the same as its predecessors, with a couple minor changes. Firstly, the lens is a bit wider, and the multifunction dial on it has a new grip, making it easier to change settings, and your fingers don't tend to slip out as much. The third is the viewfinder. It now automatically pops out, whereas in the older RX100s, you had to pop it up and push out this middle section to get it to work, and now when you close it, just closes straight in. Lastly, the screen not only flips 180 degrees, but it flips 90 degrees downwards, which is great for flat lays or trying to take overhead shots. And now, I'm going to talk about the... Firstly, on the inside of the RX100 Mark VI, it houses a 1-inch 20.1 megapixel sensor, combined with a brand new size 24 to 200mm f2.8 to 4.5 lens, making it super versatile. In terms of image stabilization, it's optically image stabilized up to 4 stops. In terms of video, it can record 4K up to 30 frames per second and super slow motion up to 960 frames per second. Thirdly, in terms of its autofocus system, it now uses a wide area 315 phase detection point system with hybrid tracking. On top of that, it houses the same Sony electronic features from the Alpha series with the face detection and the iris autofocus detect. On top of that, with the back of the screen now, it has touch autofocus and touch shooting modes available too. And for all you thrill seekers, the RX100 Mark VI shoots continuously up to 24 frames per second. And lastly and not least, it's got Wi-Fi NFC inbuilt, so you can send all your favorite photos and movies straight to your mobile phone or smart device. Now onto image quality. Just a note, the RX100 Mark VI we have is a pre-production model, so the final results may vary. As you would expect from a Sony RX100 camera, the image quality is amazing, photos come out super sharp, colors, contrast, clarity, it's all happening in the RX100 Mark VI. We're also really surprised how well it handled high ISOs, especially from a 1-inch compact camera sensor. In terms of video quality, the RX100 Mark VI is great, and now with the added S-Log3 profile, you can take your color grading a step further. In terms of autofocus performance, the Sony RX100 Mark VI is really good, and it is very similar speed-wise to the Sony a6000. If you predominantly use a smartphone to take photos, you'll be happy to know that the RX100 Mark VI's touch features for shooting and focusing are quite reliable, and makes it even better when your screen can tilt basically whichever way you want it to tilt. In terms of its zooming performance from 24 to 200, it's super smooth and even in video too. One thing and a big question that everyone's asking about the Mark VI, is it good for low light? Although the aperture range is not as good as the Mark V, 4 or 3, the optical image stabilization helps so much when you're shooting at night. I can get shots shooting handheld like 1/15 of a second. It's pretty good. So just a few things I don't like about the RX100 Mark VI. Firstly, the max aperture value drops a bit quick. So as soon as you zoom into 35mm, it drops down to f3.5. Secondly, in terms of its touchscreen, although it has one, you can't actually touch in playback or through the menus at all. And lastly, the price tag. It costs approximately about 1,500 Australian, which is about the same price as a mid-level DSLR. So my final thoughts, if you're looking for a bridge style camera, such as the RX10, but don't really like the size of it, the RX100 Mark VI is a perfect camera for that role. In terms of its price tag, it may not be for everyone, but if you're looking for a compact camera that does it all for vlogging, traveling, landscape, and you need that extra zoom for telephoto work, then the RX100 Mark VI also suits that bill. If you have any questions on the RX100 Mark VI, make sure to pop them in the comments below. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram to stay up to date with our latest events and what's going on in store. If you enjoyed our video, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on our next video. See you later.